Can you retire at 60 with $1 million? It's one of the most common questions we hear, and the honest answer is it depends. The goal here is to replace rules of thumb and media noise with a framework to use to think about your situation. So let's unpack how to think about this the right way. The first thing to consider is not to get stuck on a particular asset goal, because the real issue isn't the number, it's whether that number can support the life you want for as long as you need it to. So first we're going to look at income needs. We have to start with income. How much do you actually need each month in retirement? For some people that might be $4,000 a month. For others it's $8,000 or more. That difference alone can completely change the answer to this question. $1 million might work for one lifestyle, but fall short for another. We also want to look at other income sources. When will Social Security start? Do you have a pension? Is there any part-time income? If you're retiring at 60, there may be a gap of several years before those other income sources kick in, so your portfolio has to carry more of the load early on. Given that, we need to consider how much of an income gap you might have at different points in retirement and whether you have sufficient assets to satisfy that gap. Then there's taxes, something that's often overlooked. When your money is held in IRAs, Roth accounts, brokerage accounts, that can have a big impact, depending on how those assets are structured, on how much you actually get to spend. Two people with the same $1 million can have very different outcomes depending on how that money is taxed. We also want to consider investment strategies and risk. So how is your money invested? That really has a big play in this as well. Retiring at age 60 means your money may need to last 25 to 30 years or more. So that introduced risks like market volatility early in retirement, what we call sequence of returns risk, which can have a lasting impact if not managed properly. So the conclusion, can you retire at 60 with $1 million? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But more often, the better question is, what would need to be true for this to work? If this is something you've been thinking about, we'd be glad to walk through this with you and your actual numbers, no guesswork, no pressure. And you can reach out to our team at Paladin Financial and we'll help you build a plan that's based on your situation, not a headline or a rule of thumb. And if you find this kind of content helpful, breaking down real financial questions in a clear, practical way, go ahead and subscribe or follow so you don't miss out on future videos.